Hello there. Greetings. Thank you for joining us for tonight's channeling. All right, we're going to messages and into the Q&A. So, all right, blessings, and here we go. Greetings. I am a blue fairy from Agartha. Sending you energies. Our vibrations can connect to your oceans. As you feel your oceans do, change color, change vibration, opening up portal vibrations around your planets, allowing your chakras to heal. Ocean energies, yes, is there to heal. Why you have so much water is a healing vibration. For you to connect to spirit, as yes, many of your American Indians are aware of, yes, the purification of water, as yes, it can be blessed. For use for your energy field, for you gave room for astral travel, basically, is another way of different way of connecting. Of course, you can, some do take a bucket of water, throw it on themselves, and then sleep and go into astral. Of course, that's the old ways of doing it. You don't necessarily have to do that in this modern time, but is another way of opening the mind, open up the higher chakras, so you can connect. As basically the water energies on your world are there to be, have not been activated as much as they can be. Much of your oceans are, yes, in this state they are for a reason, to keep you from connecting, but those things will change. As are also your tree energies will grow a lot more stronger once the water on your planet has been uncorrupted. So we send you energies and your soul transformations. Thanks. Greetings to you. This is Neiman with the Essassani race, or the Shikani race. Not that it truly matters how we are labeled. Yes, our energies, yes, are connected to yours as for your graduation from the third to the fourth dimension. And yes, many hard truths are going to be known in your world. It's basically space travel will be brought to your planets in a way that you are not really seeing at this moment, as you are not living it, at least. But yes, different type of space travel is going to be brought into your environment. As yes, space tourism is becoming sort of popular on your planet, eventually become more. And different types of technologies just come out of nowhere, brought by these space program operations on your world. Basically, technologies are already on your planet, but definitely be integrated into your society as you become more aware of your presence here, at least who's here, as for alien vibrations. But yes, technologies will be eased into your society slowly. And also much other technologies. Yes, that has not been fully, yes, there is a positive connection. As for more advanced technologies have not been implemented on your planet yet. As yes, there is a synchronicity they are waiting for, or waiting for everything to come together. Over time, you will see this, and also see your presence, energy levels will change on your world also, as for who is here, and how much you are seeing, as basically the third eye is going to activate more of itself, as it is not already, as it basically suggests to trust what is around you, trust what you are seeing, as basically what you're seeing through your third eye will eventually be seen in your physical, as that is being slowly manifest, as many are letting go of the third dimension energies. But yes, we are here right now to assist your society, your group here. We are Q&A, so we are here whenever you're ready to answer your questions. Blessings.
Blessings.
Yes.
You said you were from the Chicani race?
Yes.
And
yes.
What is your name?
Neiman.
Neiman. Okay, thank you, Neiman. Yes, first up is Daria.
Hello there, Neiman.
Yes, greetings.
Greetings. So, what do you have for me this evening?
One moment. Better weather.
Oh.
One moment. One moment. Your guys are one moment. Your guys are very protective of what is being brought to you. They do show you are very connected to the Egyptian energies of your Earth, at least of your ancient times. One moment. Yes, they're very protective of your vibration. One moment. I was basically, yes, they're not going into full detail, but they do show like they brought different timelines to Egyptian time period. As what they're showing is basically as a gift from the universe, as humanity lost its their sense of direction. It basically brought timelines for other beings to connect to your world a little bit easier, at least through the spiritual vibrations. One moment. Yes, they're so very protective of your energy. You feel it at this moment. One moment. And where does that go into now? Is now you are kind of adding more to it in this time, while you came back, because I don't believe you've been on this world for quite a long time from what I see. So
yeah,
yes.
What I'm getting to, I've been visiting it, but not kind of living on it, I feel.
Well, yes, on space travels, you have been, yes, on the outside of things, but still keeping an eye on this world, not all the time throughout incarnations, but monitoring it from a distance, you could say. A lot of it's actually from Orion, from what I see.
Cool.
Yes.
So, thank you for that. And I have my second question is, I love these funny pockets and whatever can giggle me through a day. You can shout it out there. Probably no.
Well, they do show. Well, one moment. Well, they do show you different, changing different colors of different species, painting them. They did show like a horse species painting them first, but then other different species changing their colors. They also show that you miniaturize many species also. I mean, very, very small. And it's just a different perspective. Basically, some of them got a little bit too complacent. So how you did this, they're not going into details. But it's on your world, just like the size of an ant, basically. It's an ant species. At least it's the size of an ant, actually smaller than that. It can't be seen on your human eye, but there are many different species on your world that are very, very small. And you could probably connect to that energy if you wish to do so.
Cool. Thank you for that. And I have a Sven Viking question, and he has one is, Do you have any messages for him at his current situation? And his second will be followed by anything else that could benefit his way. Thank you. And good
Well, yes, the first answer is basically not to let down his guard, just continue in the path that he feels he's going. Basically, his guides are taking him to the right direction as correct for him, basically, for his timeline. So just continue the path that he feels is correct. As for, just not to add, just whatever he feels. It seems to be connected to his guides in a proper way where he can connect. As for the second portion, there is an amphibian energy around him. Yes, a frog species, but vibration. Basically, even those that are very, you could say, tough, buff, like what you call in your world, to add muscular energies to you. Basically, even you can imagine that an amphibian being very muscular. So that's another where he's getting some of this from. Why it's so easy. Basically, many of them are very humanoid in that regard, where they like to keep their appearance very too precise in this. Of course, it's not always. So a lot of this, how humans are working on their bodies, a lot of amphibians do this too. And that sounds kind of strange, well, maybe not, but on their environment, basically, not many species are there to work out like your world. You don't have to. Many amphibian beings do. Same as yours. They've been doing a lot longer than your planet, though. Blessings.
blessings. Thank you.
Yes.
Next is Stephen.
Greetings.
Yes. Blessings.
How are you?
We are doing well. Thank you.
Thank you. Much love.
Yes.
I was wondering if you can connect. A while back ago, I had a dwarf, or I think it was a dwarf, that took my green Essassani crystal had at my house, and they told me that I was integrated with my heart, and that he is very powerful, and he was using. I was wondering if you could connect with that being, that dwarf, and I just wonder if he has a message and what he's been doing with my crystal, as you know, for the positive, or just basically what he's been doing, or connect with that energy. Thank you.
Well, the dwarf is using it for their own chakra healings at this time, and also, if I feel, open up portal energies, different dimensions, basically to learn from. It's also taking you with that energy. Basically, you're still with that crystal. You're just traveling with it, and you are with it. So you're just not remembering it, but actually, you most likely be able to connect to it. So it's actually for your benefit, also, from what I see.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was. I appreciate that. Second question is, my friend of mine here at poker, he had a couple rocks, and he was. It took a while for him to show it to me, just when we meet correctly. And one he gave to me, it was a round, very round rock, had a weird feeling to it. And he said that he got these rocks from Astral. And then he had another rock that was more important to him, and he wrapped it up in a bag, and he never wouldn't show it to many people for the energy. And it was just more of, it had another rough texture to it. And I was just wondering what significance to these rocks, or what's the energies about them, or any messages. Thank you.
Yes, it goes into once again the chakra energy. It's like having the rock is like a chakra, but one that you can hold. Basically, it's another way for him to connect to the earth. As basically connecting to that stone or rock is basically another way to connect to Mother Earth's energies. Basically, it's been a time. Wonder why so many are connected to stone energies and different minerals on your, to grow spiritually. It's another way to connect to Mother Earth's energy. Connect to your higher self also. Connect to Mother Earth is connected to you, yourself. As basically she is there to help you interconnect. And basically why they are having this stone there is it's time for them to see more of themselves. So also holding that rock can also see another version of themselves, or several versions of themselves, and also to get more messages, at least when the time is right. So that's where that comes from.
Yeah, he told me about that, where he saw different versions of himself.
Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yes, there's much more that's will happen down the road, I see.
Thank you. Blessings.
Blessings.
Okay. Emmy, you're next.
Thank you. My first question is, are there any messages from any beings that want to talk to me?
One moment. Well, yes, there's a Arcturian energy that's there for your health at this time, mostly mental and physical health. There to assist you basically for, yes, patience, energy, but also just basically to keep your mental health at a stable vibration where you can still be part of this third dimension without losing it, as what they're saying, basically. But they say that you have been leaving your body a lot recently. Of course, you do that in astral, but recently you have been connecting to astral in a heavy way. That's basically paving your way. It's working on your third dimension timeline, basically. So if you're sleeping heavily or not, either way, your astral presence is very heavy at this moment.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And are there any messages for my upcoming journey, work-wise?
Yes, just to trust yourself, trust your intuition. Basically, you are opening up new possibilities. So this will continue to do so. As basically you are letting go of the old version of you, as basically you will see more of your talents increase, and also basically your intuition abilities will fire up a little bit more gradually as you go into a new environment. Basically, you're adding more guides to you also. So as you go throughout this trip, you see a gradual change. It won't be too heavy, but you will feel a slight difference there. So,
Thank you very much.
yes.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
Blessings to you.
Blessings.
Brian, you're next.
Hello. This is Logan.
Yes.
Okay. I've been having these realistic dreams almost daily now, and in every single one of my dreams, I'm either helping people or I'm working something out. Am I working with these people on something, or am I like clearing up something?
Well, it feels like you're working with many in astral. As for upcoming events on your planet, preparing them mentally for what it seems. As for the third dimensional selves might still not be prepared fully, but you are there doing what you can spiritually, as they were not really listening to you from what it seems. So you're doing what you can to get through them, but many are still kind of ignoring or not understanding what you're trying to convey to them. In some ways, this is part of your healing. You're going through a healing process during this, as you're learning a great deal for those that you are connected to. I see 12 you are connected to. I believe they're connected to your planet too. Meaning these are humans. They're just connected to them astrally.
Thank you. My second question is, are there any general messages for me?
Yes, there's a Zeta presence around you at this time. Basically, you've been going through different dimensions, different timelines. As basically as a time for awakening, as you are assisting those of your age, basically, you're preparing for more of them to understand your point of view. Not to say you can go into it fully in this dimension at this time, or this time period, however you want to word it, but you are working on basically adding your point of view to their point of view when the time comes, basically answering a lot of the questions, even if they don't understand it. In due time.
Thank you.
Yes, blessings.
Umberto, you're up.
What's up?
Yes.
Hello. My first question. I learned a while ago that I would not be drafted because I wouldn't be of age when I got my worker's permit for USA. I recently got my driver's license for North Carolina and had to agree to a permit. I had to agree to permit being drafted to get the license. So I want to know if I'm still going to be older than their age range for joining, or if this is somehow different and I run a chance of being drafted in possible future wars. I want nothing to do with any army or war.
Well, we don't see any drafts. Well, one moment. We know it is a possibility of it, but we don't see that in your timeline as it happening. So I wouldn't put any worry into it at this moment. It's unlikely, especially your age is getting up there, as you can say, but also they go through health and mostly, for a health exam also. So I would not worry too much about it. So.
All right, whatever you say. My second question, I want to know if the Hare Krishna movement is still a cult today in terms of disempowerment, manipulation, and negativity.
Is this your question? What is your question exactly?
Yeah, if the Hare Krishna movement is still a cult today in terms of disempowerment and negativity.
In some ways, yes, it is. Well, there's many cults basically within your Christian energies, but yes, there is a gathering there of cult status of basically a high mindedness is going on there, and it's not as powerful as it used to be, but it still does have its energies. So it's halfway there. It's not as strong as it was in the past, but there is some of that. But it's a learning experience for those that are within it. It's up to them. They could be in and out. Yes. Yes.
You see, I think you mentioned Christian. I meant the Hare Krishna.
That's what I'm speaking of. I was just comparing to others.
Oh, I see. All right. Okay, well, fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Next is Kingsley, and I've got his questions. His first one is, greetings to you. Are there any messages from me?
Yes, your does make your third eye seems to be firing up slightly as we're moving up a few degrees, basically as we're seeing more, hearing more, knowing more. Also, you're going through a maturity energy of basically accepting more of your abilities, but how to use them. So I do see a few years of basically you're going through integration with the higher energies and the third dimension, basically. So you're putting it all together as you need to. But at this moment, basically, just continue in your teachings, your warnings, as you're basically, there's not going to be a drastic shift. There could be in the next couple of months, but not to worry. Blessings.
Second question is, are there any flying levitation advice or tips you can give him?
Just trust the energies that are around you. Basically, you have not trusted your full connection with Mother Earth, but also you got to give it time because your DNA is still being shifted to a higher vibration. So there's much going on there as for transition from third dimension to a fourth dimension. Just continue. There will be a time when it will open up more. It will happen automatically. But much of the shift of the earth has to shift with you. Blessings.
Thank you. I'm next, and I'm wondering if there are any questions for me. Any messages for me, rather. Any messages for me, thanks.
Yes, you are feeling more grounded, but also you are seeing more of the future, and it's not coming very clearly, but also indication where the future is coming and going, but you are getting more of a clear vision here and there. It's basically the trust. It is coming to you. I do see you through thoughts. It is appearing, but you're not always sure if you can trust it or what it is. So I do see a clear view, not entirely clear, but a clearer view than others of basically what is to come. And that is how you want to connect with that is up to you. But basically is to just trust it and see where it goes.
Great, thank you very much.
Yes.
Next up is Omran, and I've got his questions. Are there any messages on my current life situations or general messages from anyone?
No moment. As for jobs, one moment. Just continue what you are. Obviously, be careful what you say in public of your true nature, because not everyone's understanding it. As basically one word is enough to just get everybody's attention from what we see. But in the third dimensional way of speaking, basically you're common knowledge, you should be fine for the most part. It is good also to communicate anything that's going on at the work situation. As for issues, but of course, be careful with that because management can be kind of tricky on receiving criticisms of how they do things. So you will know what to do because there is some corruption there of power and hurting of ego from what we are seeing. So, blessings.
Omran's second question is, I always feel like many souls want me to incarnate to Earth again. Does my soul have plans to come back or give my missions to someone else to continue them next time?
Yes, I don't believe this is, I would say it's more of a manipulation than it is. I mean, your energy will integrate to the Earth basically, not as an incarnation, but as an assistance. It will bring your energies here, but not in an incarnation. It's up to you. But many of these beings are kind of insisting as you reincarnate here, which is not exactly normal as it should be. It should not be at that factor. It should not be at that level. Basically, you should still have your authority. Basically, they're pushing their intentions onto you. From what some are at least. So there is some manipulation, not entirely. But it's also it's also showing where you're going. So basically you are in the planning stages of your future incarnations. Apparently you've gone into that thinking pattern. Yes, it's always around, but never, it's not, it looks like you open up the doorway to see what direction you want to go in. And of course other beings are kind of pushing it to one direction. I believe you still have the choice. I don't see you as incarnating here, unless you truly want to have another incarnation here. We said unlikely at this moment.
Thank you. Next up is Colin, and I've got his questions. He says, hello, do you have any messages for me?
One moment. Yes, he's integrating his energy with Yeshua at this time as for basically trusting his instincts. As yes, there's still many hurdles at this time fully connecting to the direction that is read for him. You see a materialism in the positive that will be occurring to basically help him open up more spiritually. Let him discover that when the time is right. But as for his connection to Yeshua, basically they're integrating their energies together. Colin and Yeshua basically is her basically just trusting spirit. Basically, Colin's going to go into a time of some challenges, not exactly what he would call a challenge, but spiritual challenges mostly. He's kind of already gone through that. But he's going to go through an awakening that he has not experienced before. It's going to slowly integrate. And it's going to be more helpful down the road. Just there's a warning process there for what we see. Blessings.
Great. Second question is there a message from my higher self?
One moment. Not to worry about the future, as there are some worries of that in some ways. It is kind of coming into his path of thinking, but basically he's going into a new paradigm, and it's not going to be anything he can predict or see coming, but it will definitely open him up more. Yes, there's a spiritual channel that's going to come through. That's for basically so you can see further into the future, but I basically also understand why he is here. Yeah, at least a hint of it is coming through. Blessings.
Blessings. Next up is Daniel.
Hello.
Yes. Blessings.
Blessings. My first question is, while I'm going about my day-to-day life, just out of nowhere, sometimes I feel myself like, I don't know if I'm like channeling the thought, but it feels like I'm saying something like one day, like those words, that phrase, one day, as in reference to a future event, like one day something, it just comes out of nowhere, and I want to know the context behind that, and whether it's like I'm saying it to someone or someone's saying that to me, or what's going on there.
Well, I see it is a future. It's a being in the future connecting to you. So I believe it's kind of like testing the transmission at this time. Basically kind of just connecting your energy for future connections from what I see. So if you want to connect back, I believe you have connected back to this being. I see a Palladian energy around that. What we see at this time.
Okay, because I sometimes like ask it like questions, but I don't really get anything back. But anyway,
it should. It will. They're just testing for what I see. They should. They will.
Okay, cool. My second question has to do with a dream I had last night where I was in one particular setting and I was like kind of walking through it, but simultaneously I was in another kind of reality or something where I was like having this conversation with someone about how the words were said by this person, you're hexing yourself. And this, I felt it was connected to the idea of like on our smartphones, right? We have certain background images and stuff. And it's through those that we possibly hex ourselves because these images might channel certain energies or something.
Yes.
And I want to know like how that maybe applies to me and like how we can like as a whole, like maybe different kinds of images you could recommend, things like that.
Well, yes, images of nature can help. Any type of image of nature, positive, or even angelic energies, you have to be careful. There is some kind of vibration around that. That's not exactly the most positive, at least with a religious overtone or undertone, however you word it. But basically, a nature energy, basically a color. Colors are can work with you. But basically, what you are feeling from that energy, you can usually decipher if it's a positive or negative. But yes, many do use false idols on their phones and that. But basically, I see you actually skipping timelines basically to get that information. As basically you're going to, yes, higher levels to receive that to bring it down to this level from what I see. And most likely you'll be doing this more often in your future.
I see, like switching phone images so I can allow certain energies to come through, right?
Yes, exactly. You will basically be able to decipher anything with nature you can, or an animal for that matter. There's no problem there. But most likely you'll be able to feel what is right, what is not at that moment.
Okay. Just want to be sure, like, if there's any energies that I'm channeling right now with my current background that are of note.
I don't see anything at this time. You're just becoming very sensitive after hearing that. So you're deciphering what you want in your vibration. That image might change possibly because you connect to a higher frequency. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Blessings.
Next is Bobby.
Yes. Greetings.
Hi. Greetings, Neiman.
Yes.
I've got a question. You mentioned Ascension graduation. Do you have any messages regarding that for me and my DNA?
Yes, well, I see a lot of weird and feline energies around you at this time. Basically, you're letting go of a lot of the Palladian energies, basically connecting more to the feline, weird energies, basically the ancient ones. I see you connecting. Basically, other worlds have been through situations such as yours. I see you jumping to those timelines and understanding and basically integrating how they healed during those environments. There are worlds similar to yours on other environments, and you're going to those places at this time, from what I see. So.
Right. I had just a thought the other day of how the Lyrians got past their differences with the reptilians.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, it's basically so. Yes, that's part of the healing process. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. My second question is: does Mother Earth have any messages for me about my role going forward here?
Well, yes, you're integrating.
Planet?
Well, you're connecting more with nature, so you're going to do things unconventionally as you are doing it now. So yes, you're going through a free spirit energy, but manifesting has not been the easiest. But I believe that you will clear that hurdle. As you're still getting to know yourself, you're still healing yourself, and that's why the manifesting has not fully sped up. But they say they're giving what you need is being brought to you at this time. But more once you feel that you're healed, because you're going through a lot of healing process, it will most likely take some time. But manifesting will eventually speed up. when the moment's right.
Okay. Yeah, that's also what I wanted to ask about my manifestation. Thank you for that.
Yes. What you need will come in. They're just saying that not to be worried. It's not the easiest. Of course, you want more abundance, but you're still doing a healing factor with yourself. So, blessings.
Right. Okay. Blessings. Thank you.
Yes, it will increase. When you see more of the healing, you can always speed up the healing factor for your internally. You won't know how to do this.
All right. Thank you.
Blessings.
Next is Dragon.
Greetings.
Hi.
Yes.
My first question is, I was meditating actually it was a couple of days in a row, raising my vibration, and I was seeing the faces and sometimes torsos of a lot of ETs projecting themselves to me, at least what we call ETs. I've had that before, like a high, especially when I'm talking to one being, but it was like a lot of beings projecting themselves, like one after the other. That's just interesting. Greys, mantids, reptilians, etc. Can you let them know it was received, and what were they up to? Were they just having fun, or was there a purpose? All that.
Yes, a lot of them are from the future timelines. So they're just, you can say they're getting you ready for what's to come. So basically, they're just checking in with you. Much happened in astral. They're not going into details here. But basically, you're getting, like, your frequency got kind of turned in a positive way, but you got a healing. But there's much more to come, basically, for you to connect to your timelines. That's for basically activating more of yourself. When you'll get messages out of nowhere, basically, is what they're saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. I felt it was partially for remembering stuff, and I feel like people get it, but they don't register it consciously.
It's not always meant to be. It's just as long as that energy is with you is what matters. It will make itself known when the time's right.
All right, thank you. My next question is, are there any messages for me?
Yes, they do show different paths. As basically the alien path will, mostly from the Zeta perspective, will mostly show glimpses of the future to use. They just said the Zeta energies are going to integrate with you basically slowly. As for basically your path, your messages, and situations about to occur or going to occur. So right now you're going through a kind of a pause to it, but you are building up to more of a connection with them. It seems like the Zeta seem to have a strong connection. They basically say you will understand it's also part of your mission. So that's all they say at this moment.
All right, thanks. Yeah, the Zetas are most active with me. Thank you. Much love.
Next is Miguel, and I've got his questions. He says, this week I was at work and came out the elevator and was completely disoriented, like I was in a different floor. It took a few minutes before I realized where I was. Could you explain what happened?
Yeah, so it was like we went through a timeline shift. There's also an Archon energy there. But not to say it was a manipulation, but you kind of shifted out of your reality. And going on I believe you went to a wrong floor was another way for him to settle down. He did also get a download from his angels and not being very clear of everything that was brought to him, but basically went through a timeline shift. It's not something he would normally do. So just showing that they're kind of kicking him out of his old ways. And that's one way of showing him. So I don't believe this is of the negative. It's just basically a shift that he being disorderly is also basically it's many downloads at once that have not integrated, but they will eventually.
Okay, good to know. Question 2. I keep seeing the number 22. Do you have any messages about this number?
Oh, yes. He's putting two different energies together, basically. 22, you can say it's adding up to 4, basically. He's adding things up, you can say. So it's not going to be fully showing itself, the 22 number. Basically, it's coming up to an event. It's a positive one, but mostly via spiritual connection, but It's mostly an astral connection from what I see, but also in this third dimension, he might see some. Basically, spiritually, he's going to shift slightly. As for when he'll see this fully, he'll know. He will know. That's all we can say there. Blessings.
Great, thank you. Next up is Michelle, and I've got her questions. She says, greetings, thank you. I would appreciate a message from Source.
One moment. Well, they say, yes, change is good, but one moment. I don't know why I'm seeing something to do with her hair. But basically, appearance is good to change. Basically, it's another way of changing her environment. Or ways like the old ways to change her appearance in some shape or form. Basically, it feels right for her. As basically is, yes, a lot is going to go through her energy basically for change. One moment. They're being not very clear. One moment. As basically, yes, the energy shift she is going through has not been the easiest, but it does seem like she's integrating into a new environment. Slow, but not being entirely seen yet. Yes, they're being kind of vague on everything, but right now. So basically, she's going through a shift at this moment, and she might feel like changing things. Let's put it that way. So just that's what I could do right now for the message.
Okay. Her second question is, what is the biggest thing I need to work on to move to a better state of being? She doesn't want to be stuck anymore.
Concentrate on creativity. Creativity, let it flow. As for manifestation, creativity will get her out of this. She just has to stick to it. Get herself out there, get herself known. She will connect with old channels if she wants to. As for business, it will take some time to rebuild, but I believe creativity will take her out of this. Paradigm also spirituality, but be more the creativity will bring more direction. Spirituality will be there, but creativity seems like it will be jolt her out of the direction she is in. It's up to her if she wishes to go into that, though. Blessings.
Okay, great. Thank you. Blessings. Next is Martin, and his first question is, any messages for me?
Yes, he's very connected to the Zetas at this time, basically. As for astral traveling, he's been traveling basically to Zeta Reticuli and other worlds. Basically, they are opening him up eventually to what is going to occur on this planet in the long run. As for future timelines, basically, he is very much a Zeta and astral at this time. Basically, he was never really meant to really connect to humanity in the way that most people do. He was never kind of the outsider, was always meant to be part of it because he was observing those that are around him. Of course, if he can connect to their energies, but usually the thought patterns, his is very different than everyone else's, so it's very difficult to do so. You can do the best you can, but basically is here on a mission that's not always going to be the clearest, but it's not meant to be, because that's the whole point of it. Well, he knows, but as a third dimensional human, he doesn't know. But that's the point of it. Blessings.
And his second question, I used to have this best friend named Shane that I got disconnected from when I stopped being a Jehovah's Witness. Can I get a message about Shane or my connection with Shane, or a message from his higher self or something?
Well, yes, Shane is still on the old directions, yes. And basically, Shane is still going through a darkness of the soul and basically going to that energy of Jehovah's Witness, not willing to let go of it, those belief systems. But they do connect in astral. It is a positive connection, but Shane is not ready to change and walk out of it. He's too afraid for what we are seeing. Blessings.
And our last member is James.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, a few weeks ago, I started feeling like this excited feeling, like in and around my penis. Like, can you tell me what that is? It's like occasionally, like, I don't know what it is. I've never felt it before.
It is something, well, one moment. Is it still occurring at this time?
No.
It was just a energy. I believe it's from more of the the beings that are around you that were, I believe it was like a Palladian female that was around you at that time.
Okay. And my,
A sexual connection there, from what I'm seeing.
okay. My second question is, any messages for me?
Well, yes, you are letting go of the third dimension environment, the thinking patterns of it. You're basically letting yourself go. As for connecting more to your spirit guides and spiritual vibrations, basically you're just connecting more to your, I believe, your astral self will become more clear. Basically, your astral connections, astral travels, dreams will eventually open up more. You're also very connected to the elephant people who basically had many incarnations in Africa. So if you've seen elephant type of images or anything like that, it means your connections to Africa. They just show up if you're walking around, minding your own business, but the elephant energies are very strong because Africa is very connected to your past. That is the message at this moment.
Thank you.
And James, was that your last question?
Oh, yeah, that was my last question. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, Neiman, that was it. Thank you so much for being here to answer our questions.
Yes. Blessings to you all. Yes, in your soul journeys. Much to come. Yes, your skies are going to be very different down the road as, yes, alien presence is going to increase. Much love to you all. Blessings.
Blessings.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. All right. Thank you for moderating. Mary, thank you. All right. All right. Good night, everybody. Blessings and what's anything smart. All right. Have a great weekend and.